Over the summer, one story was central to anyone interested in student politics at Warwick, and that was Edward Swan's decision to leave the Labour Party, sparking a rebrand for his society from the Warwick Labour Society to the Warwick Left Society. Amidst claims that was an undemocratic decision, and in a time of immense change for British left-wing politics, I sat down with Lola Fallon from LeftSoc to discuss the society's decision to rebrand and its future. Lola, thank you for coming to speak to us today. It's a great pleasure to have you. Would you mind to start telling us a bit about who you are, what your degree is here at Warwick, and what your role is within Warwick LeftSoc?
So first of all, thanks for having me. I'm Lola. I am a third year history and politics student, and I'm also the editor-in-chief of Left magazine, which is the magazine under Warwick Left Society.
And for our viewers who don't know, could you mind going into a bit more detail about what Warwick Left magazine is? What sort of stuff does it focus on?
Warwick Left stands for Liberation, Equality and Forward Thinking, and we platform left-wing voices at the University of Warwick. We have news articles and culture articles. We're very active. Obviously, Warwick Left is one of the most left-wing societies in the country, and I think Left magazine really shows that.
And congratulations on becoming a member of the Student Publishing Association.
Thank you.
And we'll obviously come on to a bit about what's in store for the future of Left magazine and LeftSoc more broadly. But first, I'd like to discuss the rebrand, if I may.
Of course.
Now, there's obviously a lot of reasons given for this in the various statements that were released and the discussion surrounding it. Can you, from your perspective, sort of summarise why Ed and the society took that direction?
I think the rebrand was a long time coming. A lot of our members and our exec campaigned so hard in the general election for a Labour government that we thought would benefit us. And now we've seen the two-child benefit cap, we've seen welfare cuts, we've seen the stance on Gaza. Our government is actively facilitating a genocide. And I think for a lot of us, we couldn't be associated with that name anymore. I always go back to Society's Fair last year compared to this year. Last year, it was very, why are you Labour? Why are you under this name? Whereas this year, and I was really scared to do this year, but this year it was so nice. It was so well, everyone felt, oh yeah, we'll join this society, because I think getting rid of the name really helped us. So again, I do think it was a long time coming. A lot of us felt very frustrated, and it was long, but I think it's definitely been worth it in the end, 100%.
And there was obviously quite a lot of positive and negative reaction to it. Keenan Cheeky, your former sports officer, said that was an undemocratic decision. What do you make of statements like that?
We obviously had the chat with Ed afterwards when he did what he did. And obviously there we're very lucky in the sense that we have a broad scope of people on the exec and in our members of people on the left wing and people on the left wing. I think I don't have any I don't hate Keenan or anything. I think he's a lovely guy. And I understand it from his point of view. I think we were all a bit annoyed at Ed in the sense of he didn't tell us about it. But then we had a chat and it was fine. And then we carried on because that's what we had to do.
But then there was obviously quite a lot of positive reaction to it. Last time I checked, the statement that Ed released got 1,024 likes.
Yeah.
But in that statement, Ed said that he had no intention of rebranding when he became chair.
Yeah.
What do you think sort of happened between March 2025 and August 25 that caused him to change his stance on that position?
We had to. Probably very well known, but we got sent an email from the Labour Party telling us to rebrand. I think that was sort of a catalyst, obviously, that made us turn to Warwick Labour movement and then eventually Warwick Left. So it was always in the works, and it was it could happen at some point, maybe not this exec, maybe the next exec, but then we physically had no choice.
And we'll obviously come on to what the rebrand means for LeftSoc and what you're able to do in the future. But moving away from that, just for now, I'd like to speak about some of your own work. I've read your recent Perspectives article titled Adolescence Review, exposing the realities of the manosphere.
Yeah.
Now, in the article, you say that it holds a mirror up to society and it forces us to confront the horrifying influences shaping young men's lives today. Why do you think series like that are so important in today's world? What do you think?
It's a very modern problem. It's a problem that older generations don't fully understand because they don't understand, a lot of them don't understand social media. They don't understand what could happen. And I think adolescence is good because it explains what could happen if things get left unchecked. We live in this age where misogynistic figures like Andrew Tate and these male podcasts are just actively spewing misogynistic rhetoric. And I think if left unchecked, this could be severely damaging for this generation, and how they treat women and how they treat their parents and things like that. So I think adolescence was really important in kind of showing what could happen if things don't go unchecked.
And this is obviously a topic that you're quite passionate
Yeah.
about. You read another article in for the Boar about Love Island and sort of the toxic behaviour on there. You mentioned Andrew Tate there, and then a rising age of figures like Andrew Tate. What role do you think mainstream media is having on this time of heightened online and in-person misogyny?
I think mainstream media needs to debunk it. I think I'm not trying to tell people to, like, obviously we have a society where it's very biased news, but I think either way, saying that women need to be like subservient, women need to submit to their husbands, women shouldn't have a job. Some saying they shouldn't even have social media because of they shouldn't be trusted. I think the mainstream media does have a role in not perpetuating and not platforming these people and just letting them kind of dwindle, I think.
And I suppose linking to that, coming from a left-wing perspective for you, do you think that is something that left-wing politics has the capacity to fix, should it become like in a position of governance?
I hope so. I think it would be really nice. I think it's nice to have figures who aren't like the typical man in politics. I think that's important. I think showing what men could be, apart from just like this like manly man, I think is really important. I think having that is really important as well.
It's very good to hear. I've read lots of your articles researching for this, and we'll move on to a bit about the future of both LeftSoc and left-wing politics in general. In an article that you wrote for Perspectives, you basically said that the choice for the 2029 general election is between socialism and barbarism, as you put it. Do you and LeftSoc genuinely think that that is the option? Why is that?
Yes, I do. I do think that, because Reform are so popular. They have only 5 MPs and they get like 20% of screen time on TV. There's never a Green MP on Question Time. There's always a Reform MP, and I think it's important that although the media is bolstering this and kind of acting like everyone agrees with them, the Green Party have increased their members by like 30,000 since Zach Polansky got in, not even a month ago. And I think it's important to kind of show that these things are balancing themselves out. And I do think there is only like one choice in the next election, personally, to try and not get Reform in.
And linking to that, the purpose of the rebrand is sort of for you guys to become more aligned and visibly left-wing. You can align yourself more with parties like your party and the Green Party. Other than becoming more visibly left-wing, as you've kind of touched upon, what else do you think this rebrand will allow you to do that you couldn't really do under a Labour banner?
I think we feel more comfortable to criticise the party now, because I think a lot of our exec members don't like what they're doing. I think it kind of gives us a bit more freedom to be critical. In terms of your party and Greens, obviously we work very closely with the Green Society on Warwick, because we're all part of the Left Network. But I think when it comes to your party, obviously there's been a few your party societies sort of cropping up since the announcement of it. But just want to say, as LeftSoc, we are going to remain as LeftSoc for the time being. There isn't currently any plans to align ourselves fully with your party.
And does this rebrand bring any benefits to Left magazine? Is that sort of your remit?
Yes and no, in a way. I think now the rebrand is over, I feel very happy, because a lot of it was like, let's write articles just about the rebrand, let's do this and this, and now I feel like I finally have sort of creative control over Left, and I can do whatever I want, basically. And the article that the print edition that's coming out, I don't know if this is going to come out, but it's a little secret, that it's called Tomorrow Belongs to Us, which is about like standing up to fascism. And I think one of the prompts I'm going to put out is going to be about Gaza and how the Labour Party is dealing with it, and they're obviously not dealing with it very well.
And you've mentioned how both you and Ed have mentioned how this new rebrand is sort of to make it a more collaborative space for all left-wing politics on campus. Can we expect to see Warwick LeftSoc collaborating with more parties like Green Party, or do you reckon it will start to carve out its own space within the...
No, I think we're very committed to the Left Network. We are very, we work very closely with, climate justice, Greens, anti-racism, anti-sexism, and I think keeping those relationships is very important if we're going to build a grassroots movement that is going to project like left-wing ideas on campus. I think that's very important.
And finally, just to end, where do you Where do you hope to see LeftSoc in a year's time, and where do you see it? What's the vision for a year's time?
I can't tell you the vision for a year's time because obviously the political landscape is very fragile. We don't know what's going to happen. I think if we do end up aligning with your party, it will not be in my exec. It won't be. I don't think it'll be the next exec. I think it'll be once it's fully got its foundations, and maybe even like after the next election if they get that far. In terms of LeftSoc, we are the same society that we were a year ago. We've just changed our name. We are still, we stand up for democratic socialism, anti-imperialism, anti-sexism, anti-racism, environmental justice, and socio-economic justice. We have simply just changed our name. We're going to have socials, speakers, do pints in policy. We campaign pretty much every weekend for socialist MPs around the country. So I think there's been a lot of misinformation about what this rebrand is. We have literally just changed our name, but we are the same society.
Lola, thank you for coming to speak to us today. It's been a great pleasure. It's been great to have you here.
Thanks
and hearing your insights. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.